Hello and welcome to yet another episode. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of free live class on APSC CCE Prelims. Today we shall be talking about a few questions. Today, like yesterday and day before yesterday, we shall be talking about a few questions which have been asked by UPSC in the past years. And today we will start with a topic. We'll start with a set of questions which are related to the age of Mahajanapadas, and we'll also be talking about certain questions which are related to the Mauryan Empire and which have been asked by UPSC in the past few years. So uh, let's talk about let's go through the first question. So as you can see here, who among the following was not a contemporary of the other three? This question was asked in the year 2005. Okay, this question was asked in the year 2005, and the options are Bimbisara, Gautam Buddha, Milind, and Prasenjit. Who among the following was not a contemporary of the other three? The options are Bimbisara, Gautam Buddha, Milind, and Prasenjit. Now, what is the meaning of contemporary? Contemporary means, the question is who out of these four people who did not belong to the same time period? Contemporary means, or when two people belong to the same time period, then those two people are called contemporaries of each other. So that is the meaning of the word contemporary. Now, see, you have to know, I have to talk about the background a bit. Who was Bimbisara? Bimbisara, okay, who was Bimbisara? Bimbisara was one of the rulers. He was one of the rulers of Magad and he belonged to the Haryanka dynasty. And Bimbisara was a contemporary of Gautam Buddha. Okay, Bimbisara was a contemporary of Gautam Buddha. In fact, it is also said that Bimbisara donated a plot of land to Gautam Buddha at Sanchi. So that makes Bimbisara a contemporary of Gautam Buddha. Okay, and we also know about Prasenjit. We also know about Prasenjit, and Prasenjit was the and so and see Bimbisara as well as Gautam Buddha. These two figures belong to the age of Mahajanapadas. The age of Mahajanapadas, that period which in history, which in Indian history is known as age of Mahajanapadas, it started from around 600 BC. Okay, it started from around 600 BC, the age of Mahajanapadas. Now, this age of Mahajanapadas, Bimbisara and Gautam Buddha, these two individuals belong to the age of Mahajanapadas. And Bimbisara was the ruler of, he was one of the rulers of Magad. And who was Prasenjit? Prasenjit was one of the rulers. Okay, Prasenjit was one of the rulers who was ruling over Avanti. Avanti, what was Avanti? Avanti was another Mahajanapada. Okay, they were in total, according to a few books like Anguttara Nikaya, which is a Buddhist chronicle. Okay, Anguttara Nikaya is a Buddhist chronicle. According to few books like Anguttara Nikaya, there were in total 16 Mahajanapadas. Okay, so Avanti was one such Mahajanapada, Magadh was another Mahajanapada, and Prasenjit was, okay, Prasenjit was he was a ruler. He was one of the rulers of Avanti, and he was also a contemporary of Bimbisara. He was also a contemporary of Bimbisara. How can we say that? Because Bimbisara had sent his chief physician. Okay, Bimbisara had a chief physician, a royal physician, also you can say. His name was Jivaka. So Prasenjit was, once Bimbisara had sent Jivaka to the help, Bimbisara had sent Prasenjit, Bimbisara had sent his court physician or chief physician, Jivaka, to treat Prasenjit. Okay, since Bimbisara sent his chief physician by the name of Jivaka to treat Prasenjit, that makes Prasenjit also a contemporary of Bimbisara. So Bimbisara, Gautam Buddha, and Prasenjit, we know now that they all belong to the same time period. Now we are left with only Milind. So Milind cannot be the right answer. Now who was Milind? Who was Milind? So Milind, who was Milind? Milind was an Indo-Greek king. Milind was an Indo-Greek king. Indo-Greeks, as we all know, it belongs to which time period? The arrival of the Indo-Greeks in India belongs to the post-Mauryan period, immediately after the downfall of the Mauryas. Okay, within a short time, many people, okay, many groups entered India from outside India. Many foreign groups came to India, and out of all those foreign groups, one such foreign group was the Indo-Greeks. And Milind was one of the Indo-Greek rulers. Okay, Milind was one of the Indo-Greek rulers who had its capital, who had his, who had his capital at Sialkot, which is in present-day Pakistan. Okay, so Milind was not a contemporary. So Milind, to cut a long story short, Milind doesn't belong to the age of Mahajanapadas. Milind belongs to another time period in history, which is known as post-Mauryan period. So Milind cannot be the right answer. So who among the following was not a contemporary? The answer is not a contemporary. So the answer will be Milind. So Milind cannot be a contemporary of Bimbisara, Gautam Buddha, and Prasenji. Okay. Now, uh, talking about the next question, which one of the following was initially the most powerful city-state? Which one of the following initially was the most powerful city-state of India in the 6th century BC? And this question was being asked. This question was being asked when this question was being asked. This question was being asked in the year 1919. Okay, somebody is saying, just give me 1 second. Ashwini Pratim, you are saying father of Ashok. Okay, father of Ashok was not Bimbisara. Father of Ashok, the name of Ashok's father was Bindusara, not Bimbisara. Okay, Bimbisara belongs to the age of Mahajanapadas. Bindusara belongs to the Mauryan period. Now, which one of the following was initially the most powerful city-state of India in the 6th century BC? 1999 was the year in which it was asked. And the options were Gandhar, Kamboj, Kashi, and Magadh. Okay, city state. The question is city state. The question is city state in the 6th century BC, and the answer to this would be Kashi, because we know for a Kashi was initially, and another thing to notice in this question, the most important clue in this question is the word initially. Which one of the following was initially the most powerful city-state of India in the 6th century BC? So, this question is also related to the age of Mahajanapadas. This question is also related to the age of Mahajanapadas. So, and all the four options are the names of Mahajanapadas. All these four options, Gandhar, Kamboja or Kamboj, Kashi, and Magadh, all these are Mahajanapadas. But initially, which was the most powerful Mahajanapada? Initially, the most powerful city-state of Mahajanapada was Kashi. And we all know for a matter of fact that ultimately, which became the most powerful Mahajanapada? Magadh became the most powerful Mahajanapada ultimately. But the question is not ultimately, but initially. So the answer in this case would be Kashi. The answer in this case would be Kashi. See, Kashi is a very interesting Mahajanapada, and Kashi, the name Kashi tells a lot. The name Kashi tells us a lot, and it has got a connection, I'll tell you. But before telling that, we have to know one more thing, that the capital of this Mahajanapada was Varanasi or Banaras. This is the reason why some people today call, okay, today Varanasi or Banaras is an important pilgrimage center for the Hindus. Okay, it is an important site of pilgrimage for the Hindus, and today Banaras or Varanasi, it is a place. It falls under the state of Uttar Pradesh, and today, even today, many people use the name Kashi for Banaras. It is for this reason, because once upon a time during the age of Mahajanapadas, Banaras used to be the capital of Kashi. Kashi was the name of the Mahajanapada. Okay, and Gandhar and Kamboj, these two Mahajanapadas, where were they present? They were present in the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent. These two Mahajanapadas were present in the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent. Gandhar and Kamboja was to the northern side of Gandhar. Okay, Kamboja was to the northern side of Gandhar. The capital of Gandhar was Takshashila, a very, very important place. Now, coming to the connection which Kashi has with a very important thing. Many historians say that now we all know you can search this, you can search this on Google. You can look up for this on Google, that the the dress, the garment which is being used or which is being worn by Buddhist monks. Okay, you must have seen Buddhist monks, they wear a specific kind of a garment. They wear a particular kind of a garment, okay, or a gown. That gown is called kashaya. Kashaya. That gown is called Kashaya. Now, as per many historians, the word Kashaya has been derived from the word Kashi. Okay, because it was in Kashi. Okay, it was in Kashi that those Kashayas were manufactured. It was in Kashi that those Kashayas used to be manufactured. Okay, I mean the robes, the Buddhist robes, the robes which were being worn. Okay, the robes which were being worn by the Buddhist monks during the time, during the period of age of Mahajanapadas, those were made or those were manufactured in in Kashi. So from Kashi came the word Kashaya. So, if we go by this statement, then we can say that Kashi during the age of Mahajanapadas, it was a major hub. It was a major, you can call it you can call it an industrial hub. It was a major commercial hub, or it was a major industrial hub where Kashayas, that is Buddhist robes, where robes used by Buddhist monks were manufactured in large quantities. Okay, now going to the next question. Going to the next question, the following map shows four of the 16 Mahajanapadas that existed in ancient India. Okay, the following map shows four of the 16 Mahajanapadas that existed in ancient India. The places marked A, B, C, and D respectively are. Now, this is a question which is, this is a question which is related to map marking, which is connected with map marking. They will give you certain, they will, they will, they will point, they will mark, okay, they will mark some places on a map and they will ask you to identify those places. Now, these four places have been marked as A, B, C, and D, and they have asked you to identify. They have asked you to identify these places. Now, to be able to answer such kind of questions, you need to know, you need to be well acquainted with geography. Okay. See, history and geography, they share a deep bond. They share a deep bond. They walk hand in hand, history and geography. So unless and until you don't know the geographical location of some of the most important places in history, then you will not be able to identify, they will not be able to answer such questions correctly. Now, let's have a look. The places marked A, B, C, and D respectively. A option, Matsya, Sedi, Koshal, and Anga. Okay? Surasen, Avanti, Vatsa, and Magadh. C, Matsya, Avanti, okay? Matsya, Avanti, Vatsa, and Anga. And Surasen, Chedi, Koshal, and Magadh. And the right answer is C, that is Matsya, Avanti, Vatsa, and Anga. Where was Matsya located? See, Avanti, how can we say that Avanti is located or was located in that part? Because an easy way to remember is one of the capitals, Avanti had a it had a twin capital system. Avanti had two capitals. Avanti, Mahajanapada of Avanti used to have two capitals. The name of the northernmost capital was Ujjain, and the name of the southernmost capital was Mahishmati. Now, Ujjain still is a very important city which is located in Madhya Pradesh. And we all know, I mean, most of us, are we must be knowing the location of Madhya Pradesh. So, Ujjain corresponds, going by that, a way to remember the location of Ujjain is if you remember that Ujjain corresponds with modern day city of Avanti, the Mahajanapada of Avanti corresponds with the modern day city of Ujjain. Now, if you know the location of Ujjain, or and alternatively, if you at least know the location of Madhya Pradesh, then you should be able to remember the location of Avanti also. Okay, and to the north of Avanti, to the north, to the to the north of Avanti was another Mahajanapada by the name of Matsya. Okay, to the north of Avanti was another Mahajanapada by the name of Matsya. And towards the eastern side, okay, towards the eastern side, there used to be another Mahajanapada by the name of Vatsa. And Anga, what was Anga? Anga was the easternmost Mahajanapada. Anga was that Mahajanapada which was right next to Magad. In fact, Anga was annexed. Anga was annexed to Magad during the time of Bimbisara himself. So the right answer in this case would be Matsya, Avanti, Vatsa, and Anga. Okay. Now moving on to the next question. Moving on to the next question. Which one of the following dynasties was ruling over North India at the time of Alexander's invasion? This was asked in the year 2000. Alexander invaded India. Okay, Alexander invaded India sometime around 326 BC. Okay, it was then when he invaded India. Alexander became the king of Macedonia around 330 BC, and he came to India around 326 BC in order to take revenge. Whom was he taking revenge from? He was taking revenge. He was trying to clash with the Persian Empire. He was trying to bring down the Persian Empire, and he was successful in his attempts. Okay, he was successful in his attempts. And why was he trying to bring down the Persian Empire? Because the Persian Empire had brought the Ionian states like Greece, Macedonia. Okay, all these places were brought under the control of the Persian Empire. Okay, and by the way, Persian Empire is world's first empire. Persian Empire rose into prominence and became very, very prominent under great kings like Cyrus and Darius. Okay, these are very, very important kings, and Persian Empire is considered to be world's first empire. Okay, now the same Alexander, and why did he invade India? One of the reasons why he invaded India was because the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent was under the Persian Empire. A substantial part of the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent. When I say northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent, I'm referring to modern day places like Pakistan and Afghanistan. A substantial portion of that part used to come under the Persian Empire before the advent of Alexander. Okay, how can we say that? We can also say this because of a very important inscription by the name of Behistun inscription. Behistun inscription, which has been found in Asia Minor, that is Turkey, which says which says that provinces like Indus and Gandhar, these two provinces are said to have been the richest provinces of the Persian Empire. So if they're saying that these two provinces are the richest provinces, these two provinces are our richest provinces, then naturally those will be a part of the Persian Empire. And both the places are a part of the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent. So one of the reasons was why Alexander came to India, because he tried to bring down the Persian Empire. So every place which was under the control of the Persian, every place, he wanted to conquer every place which was under the control of the Persian Empire. So in that connection, he came to India. He was also attracted by India's wealth, because through the Persians he came to know about the immense wealth of India. So that was another reason why he got attracted to India. Now, when he came to India around 326 BC, of course, he did not, he was not able to come, or he did not come. Not able to come, it was his own decision. He did not move further ahead. He returned from the river Bees. Okay, he returned from the river Bees. He did not cross the river Bees. Okay, he returned from that river. So we can say that Alexander did not visit mainland India. Alexander, you can say by and large, he did not visit mainland India. But the question is, who was ruling over North India at the time of Alexander's invasion? And the answer to this question would be the Nanda dynasty. Okay, why Nanda? The Nanda, see again, Nanda dynasty was the last dynasty which belongs to the age of Mahajanapadas, because it was the last ruler of this dynasty by the name of Dhananand. The last ruler of this dynasty was Dhananand, and Dhananand was being replaced, or you can say he was displaced from his throne by a coup, coup, which was organized by Chandragupta Maurya with the help of his, you can call him Guru, with the help of his Guru Chanakya. So these two people displaced Dhananand, the last ruler of the Nanda dynasty, and then Mauryan Empire was founded by Chandragupta Maurya. So at the time Alexander's invasion, the Nandas were in power, and they were one of the most powerful forces, and they were the most powerful force in North India at that time. And Nandas were known for their massive army. In fact, it is one of the reasons, according to historians, one of the reasons why Alexander's army did not come to mainland India was because they had heard about the massive army, they had heard about the number of elephants, they had heard about the infantry and cavalry of Dhananand. And it cannot be the Mauryas, because Maurya belongs to a different time period. And who were the Shunga and the Kanva? Both Shunga dynasty as well as Kanva dynasty, both the dynasties belong to the post-Mauryan period. Okay, so these two, so the right answer would be Nanda. Okay, the right answer would be Nanda. Now, let's look at some of the questions which have been asked in the past by UPSC and which are related to Mauryan age or Mauryan Empire. Now, see, the name by which it was asked in 1995, a very, very important question. The name by which Ashoka is generally referred to his, the name by which Ashoka is generally referred to in his inscriptions is Chakravarti, Dharmadev, Dharmakirti, and option number D is Priyadasi. And the right answer is Priyadasi or Priyadasi, that is beloved of the gods. This is, see, Ashoka is known for his edicts. Ashoka is known for his edicts or inscriptions. And in the inscriptions, the most common name, the name which you will come across for the most number of times, the name which Ashoka has been, the Ashoka has been called, the name which has been used for Ashoka in most of the inscriptions is Piyadasi. Okay, so the right answer would be Piyadasi. Okay, and the meaning of Piyadasi is beloved of the gods or dear to gods. Now, which one of the following statements regarding Ashokan's stone pillars is incorrect? Okay, 1997. Which one of the following statements regarding Ashokan's stone pillars is incorrect? See, why did Ashoka use pillars? Ashoka basically used pillars in order to transmit his messages. Remember in my last class, I spoke about Ashoka's Dhamma. Okay, so Ashoka was communicating with his masses, and he used two things in order to communicate. One was stone pillars, the other was he started writing his messages on huge rocks. So he took the help of stone pillars as well as rocks in order to transmit his messages, because and he wanted he wanted the people who were living in his empire, who were a part of his empire, to follow his messages, to follow his dhamma. So this question is in relation to the Ashokan stone pillars which were used by Ashoka to transmit his dhamma. Now, these are some of the statements. Number one, these are highly polished. These are highly polished. Number two, these are monolithic. Okay, these are monolithic. The shaft of pillars is tapering in shape, and these are part of architectural structures. These are part of architectural structures. Now, see, Ashokan pillars, always keep one thing in mind. Ashokan pillars, the pillars which were used by Ashoka were known for their polish. Okay, in fact, earlier, until recent times, this polish was thought to be a direct copy of the polish which one can find in Persian architecture also. But now it has been proven. Recent researchers have shown that it is an indigenous polish. Okay, recent researchers have shown that it is an indigenous polish, and this polish is the same polish, the polish which is used by Ashoka in his pillars. How can we say that this is an indigenous polish? Because the polish which has been used in Ashokan pillars is the same polish which was used in NBPW, that is Northern Black Polished Ware. What is Northern Black Polished Ware? Northern Black Polished Ware was a kind of pottery. Northern Black Polished Ware was a kind of pottery which was in use during the age of Mahajanapadas. Northern black polish ware, and as the name suggests, a certain kind of a polish was used. And Ashoka, now it has been proven, it was not a copy of the Persian polish, but it was an indigenous polish, because Ashoka was using the same polish as was used by people while making that kind of pottery, which is known as Northern black polished ware. Okay, so A is correct. Okay. And the question is what? We have to find the statement which is incorrect. So these are highly polished. Okay. That is a totally correct statement. These are monolithic. Now, Ashokan pillars were also monolithic. Okay. They were built out of single stone columns. Okay. They were built out of single stone columns. What is the meaning of monolithic? For example, the uh, For example, many bridges, okay, many bridges, many temples. For example, the Kailashnath temple. Okay, Kailashnath temple is another monolithic structure. And Kailashnath temple is found in the Ellora caves. It was built by Krishna the First, a Rashtrakuta ruler. Okay, this Kailashnath temple is considered to be the pinnacle or the zenith of Indian rock cut architecture. Now, this Kailashnath temple is one of the finest examples of monolithic structures that we find in India. So these are examples of monolithic structures. Monolithic is that structure which is built out of a single rock or stone. Okay, single rock or stone. Now, the third option is that the shaft, okay, that the shaft of pillars is tapering in shape. The shaft of pillars is tapering in shape. Now, this is also correct. And what is the meaning of the shaft? Shaft refers to the base. The base of the Ashokan pillar, the base of the Ashokan pillar, the base of the Ashokan pillar was tapered. The base of the Ashokan pillar was tapered. So this is also correct. Okay. The base of the Ashokan pillar, I mean the shape, I mean, the way Ashokan pillars, if you look at the Ashokan pillar, it will become clear to you that particular, the shape of the base of the Ashokan pillar has been, I mean, that structure is known as a tapering structure. The way you will see it, that particular type of base is known, or you can say the pattern or the shape is known as tapering shape. The pattern or the shape is known as tapering shape. And option number D is that these are part of architectural structures, which is not the correct answer. I've already told you that Ashoka was using his stone pillars not for any ornamentation purpose, not to decorate his palace, or not to decorate his palace, or not for any other architectural purpose. Or he was not even making these stone pillars, let's say, in order to put them in front of stupas. He was making these stone pillars so that he can use these pillars in order to transmit his dhamma, so that he can take dhamma to as many people as possible. Okay, see, so the incorrect statement would be D. Okay, now moving on to the next question. Which one of the following edicts mentions the personal name of Ashoka? This is very, very important question. It has been asked in 1997. Ashoka, like I was saying a short while ago, in most of the edicts, in most of the edicts or inscriptions, Ashoka has been referred to as Devanam, either Devanam Piya or Devanam Piya Piyadasi. Okay, these are the two names. Okay, these are the two names by which Ashoka has been referred to in most of the edicts. Okay, Devanam Piya and Piyadasi. Now, the question is, which one of the following edicts mentions the personal name of Ashoka? Which one of the following edicts mentions the personal name of Ashoka? Now, the answer to this question would be Musky Edict. Musky Edict. The significance of the Musky Edict. Okay, the moment, why is the discovery of Musky Edict? Why is the discovery of Musky Edict considered to be a watershed moment in Indian history? The discovery of Musky Edict is considered to be a significant event in Indian history because it was the Musky Edict, it was this discovery which made it very clear, that Devanam Piya, Piyadasi, okay, that Devanam Piya and Piyadasi and Ashoka the Great, they are the same people. Before this discovery, people in India still had some, people in India, most people in India still had some sort of a confusion. They were still in a state of doubt as to some of them. I mean, most Indians used to think that Devanampiya Piyadasi and Ashoka are two different persons. Okay, but when this discovery was made, okay, when this discovery was made, when this musky addict was being discovered, it became very clear that Ashoka and Devanam Piya Piyadasi, they are the same people. How can we say that? Because this particular addict, which is known by the name of musky addict, the name which you will find in this particular addict is Devanam Piya Ashok. The name which has been mentioned in this addict is Devanam Piya Ashok. Devanampiya Ashok, which makes it very clear that Devanampiya, okay, that Devanampiya, a word which has been used in most of the Ashokan edicts, and Ashoka are the same person. Okay, because of this, the answer to this question would be D. That is, the Musky edict is the right answer. Okay, now the next question is an assertion and reason. Okay, in this type of questions, they will give you a statement by the name of assertion, and they will also give you a statement by the name of reason. Okay, now and reasons are always the explanations of A. Suppose, for example, A says a particular statement, reason would go on to explain why that particular statement is being said. Okay, it is the explanation of assertion. Now, for example, I mean, in this question, what is the assertion? I mean, assertion is what? What is the meaning of assertion? You are asserting something, you are making a statement. And reason would be why you are making that statement. You have to make a statement based on something. I mean, you cannot just make a statement, you have to base your statement on something. So, R takes care of that. What are you basing your statement on? Okay, for example, according to Ashoka's edicts, that is the statement part. According to Ashoka's edicts, social harmony among the people was more important than religious devotion. According to Ashoka's edicts, social harmony among the people was more important than religious devotion. That is the assertion. And the reason is he spread ideas of equity instead of promotion of religion. Okay, how can we say that according to Ashoka's edicts, social harmony among the people was more important than religious devotion? I mean, I'm just saying the question. The question says that we can say this because he means Ashoka. Ashoka spreads, or he used to spread ideas of equity instead of promotion of religion. Now, the options are both A and true. Both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. B, both A and R are, both A and R are true, and but R is not the correct explanation of A. A is true, but R is false, and D is A is false, but R is true. And the correct answer in this case would be option number A. And the correct answer in this, the correct answer to this question would be option number A. Why? See, Ashoka, if you go through the Ashokan edicts, Ashoka was not trying to promote any religion. And in most of the edicts, Ashoka talks about maintaining social harmony. I must have said this in one of my previous classes that the ultimate objective of Ashoka's Dhamma was to establish peace and order in the society. A lot of friction was going on when Ashoka was the king, and more than friction, a lot of different people used to live in his empire. What do you mean by different people? I mean people belonging to different religions, people following different sets of lifestyles. In the northwestern part of his empire, there were Greeks. Okay, there were Greeks, and there was a lot of inequality in the Greek society. The concept of slave and master was there in the Greek society. So he wanted to put an end to that concept also. He wanted to bring order. He wanted to lessen the friction which was going on in different parts of his empire. So Ashokan edicts was not just about it was not about promoting a particular religion. Okay, we can also say this because one of Ashokan edicts, a very famous Ashokan edict, also asks the people of his empire to respect each religion, to respect all the religions, because it goes on to say that if you do not respect, if you talk badly, I mean, it goes on to say, that particular edict goes on to say that if you talk badly of any religion, if you talk badly of any religion, it would only mean that you are insulting your own religion, because the more badly you talk about other religions, the people belonging to those religions will talk badly about your religion. So when you talk badly about someone else's religion, it is your religion that you are hurting at the end of the day. So based on this, we can easily say that Ashoka was not trying to promote one religion at the expense of another. Okay, his edicts, his dhamma was more about establishing social harmony. It was more of a moral code of conduct. It was more of a moral code of conduct. So the right answer would be both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Now, now again, let's go through a map question which was asked in the year 1998. Now, this question which was asked in the year 1998 is the given map relates to. Now, this question, see, a certain portion has been selected in the map. A certain portion has been selected in the map. Okay, a certain portion has been selected in the map, and they have asked you to identify. I mean, it's like a dynasty. Okay, it's like a dynasty. They have selected a portion, and they have asked you to identify the dynasty as to whose dynasty this is, as to whose dynasty this is, and they have given you names of rulers. They have given you names of certain rulers, and also the time periods of those rulers. For example, option number A, Kanishka at the time of his death. Kanishka at the time of his death. Option number B, Samudragupta after the close of his South Indian campaign. Samudragupta, option number B is Samudragupta after the close of his South Indian campaign. Ashoka towards close of his reign. And option number D is Empire of Thaneshwar on the eve of Harsha's accession. Empire of Thaneshwar on the eve of Harsha's accession. Now, see, this map is very interesting. This map is very interesting. This map also covers modern day Assam. Now, Kanishka at the time of his death. Why this cannot be the right answer? Because we know about the empire of Kanishka. Kanishka's empire was more confined to northern India than southern India. Kanishka's empire was very, very diverse. It was very, very big, but it did not cover. This map shows almost the whole India. Kanishka's empire did not cover modern day India. Kanishka's empire was, I mean, it was more confined to North India, and it was also spread to the northwestern part of India and also Central Asia. Even Central Asia was a part of Kanishka's empire. Kanishka's empire started from Transoxiana. What is the meaning of Transoxiana? Transoxiana is connected with the river Oxus. Oxus is a river which is found in Central Asia. I mean, in fact, there are two very important rivers in Central Asia, Amu Darya and Sir Darya. Okay, Amu Darya and Sir Darya. And Amu Darya is also known by the river Oxus. So when I say Transoxiana, it means beyond the river Oxus. Trans means beyond. So Kanishka's empire started from Transoxiana in Central Asia, and it came all the way, and it all the way, and it came all the way till places like Mathura. That is Indo-Gangetic Plains. I mean, it covered the entire Indo-Gangetic Plains also. It came all the way till places like Mathura, in fact, was a major center. It was one of his capital because Kanishka also had two capitals. Okay, one was Mathura, the other was Purushapura, that is modern day Peshawar. So this cannot be the map. This cannot be the map of Kanishka's dynasty. The second option is Samudragupta after the close of his Samudragupta, after the close of his South Indian campaign. After the close of his South Indian campaign. Now, this also cannot be the right answer because Samudragupta, although he was successful, although Samudragupta was a very powerful king, although Samudragupta is known for his expansionism, although Samudragupta is known for expanding Gupta Empire, I mean, and we come to know about his expansionist policy through the Allahabad inscription. Okay, through the Allahabad inscription written by his court poet. Okay, through the Allahabad inscription written by his court poet, we come to know we come to know about Samudragupta's expansion policy. So although he expanded the Gupta Empire immensely, but this cannot be the map of Samudragupta also because certain areas which have been shown in the map were not a part of his empire. Okay, and the inscription I'm talking about, Allahabad inscription, was being written by Samudragupta's court poet, whose name was Hari Sen. Now, before talking about option number C, which in fact is the right answer, see, one thing to be noticed here is South India, deep South India. Okay, states like Tamil Nadu and Kerala have not been covered. Okay, have not been covered. empire of Thaneshwar on the eve of Harsha's accession. Now, why this cannot be the right answer? Okay, Harshavardhana. I mean, I think yesterday also I was talking about Harshavardhana. Harshavardhana was initially he was the king of Thaneshwar, and later on he also became the king of Kanauj. He also ended up becoming the king of Kanauj. Now, since this map also shows, since this map also covers places like modern day Assam and West Bengal. Okay, it also covers modern day places like Assam and West Bengal. Okay, it also covers modern day places like Assam and West Bengal. D cannot be the right answer because we know for a fact that when Harshavardhana was ruling in places like Thaneshwar and Kanauj, who was ruling in Assam, or at least in Kamrup, it was Kumar Bhaskar Varman who was a contemporary of Harshavardhana. And Harshavardhana could not have ruled over West Bengal also or over Bengal also, which has been shown here because Bengal, okay, because Bengal was under, or you can say Northern Bengal was under the control of Shashank, whom Harsha and whom Harsha and Kumar Bhaskar Varman eventually defeat. So D also cannot be the right answer because we know that Kumar Bhaskar Varman, when he was the ruler of Kamrup, Kamrup was an independent, you can say state. Kamrup was an independent state when Kumar Bhaskar Varman was the ruler. Okay, so the right answer is C. Ashoka towards close of his reign. How can we say Ashoka? Ashoka, because Ashoka, see, most of the things have already been added. When Ashoka became the emperor, the only major campaign, the only major campaign launched by Ashoka was the campaign of Kalinga. And right after the campaign of, 2 years after the 2 years after the campaign of the 2 years after the Battle of Kaling, which was fought around the year 263 BC. Okay, 2 years after the Battle of Kaling, Ashoka Ashoka became a Buddhist and he at once chose to discard the path of violence, and he chose to embrace the path of peace and friendship, okay, which is known as what? Dhamma Ghosh. So he discarded the policy of Bheri Ghosha and he adopted the policy of Dhamma Ghosh, that is cultural conquest. So the only major campaign which was launched by Ashoka while he was the emperor was the Kalinga campaign, that is Orisha. So Orisha, here also it has been seen, here also it has been shown as being part of Ashoka's empire. And South India, see South India, we all know the deep south. Places like, although Ashoka talks about deep south in one of his inscriptions, he talks about four major South Indian dynasties, out of which three have been identified, but one has not been identified. The three dynasties which have been identified, the three South Indian dynasties which have been identified are Chola, Chera, and Chola, Cheras, and Pandyas. Okay, three dynasties these three dynasties have been mentioned in one of us Ashokan, in one of Ashokan inscriptions. Of course, he did not mention one dynasty as Cheras, but the word which was used by Ashoka was Kerala Putras. But although he mentions about these kingdoms, we know it for a fact that Deep South was beyond the influence of Ashoka. Ashoka did not establish his control, or he was not able to establish his control over Deep South, which is why Deep South is not covered in this diagram. Okay, when I say Deep South, I'm referring to modern day places like Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Now, the next question was asked in the year 1998, and the next question is the Ashokan major rock edicts which tell us about the Sangam kingdom. Okay, Sangam kingdom include rock edicts. See, Sangam kingdom is the same thing I just said. Sangam kingdom refers to the South Indian kingdoms because Ashokan edict, it is one of Ashokan edicts talks about the South Indian kingdoms, and Sangam kingdom or Sangam age is a very important part of history. Sangam age basically refers to that age when 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 the oldest works of Tamil literature, when the oldest works of Tamil literature like Tolkapiyam, like Silapadikaram, when they were composed. Okay, Sangam age refers to that age when the oldest examples or when the oldest works of Tamil literature were composed. Now the question is, which major rock edict of Ashoka? Okay, rock edict refers to the edicts of Ashoka which were inscribed on rocks. I've already told you that certain inscriptions were inscribed on pillars, the other inscriptions were inscribed on rocks. So the Ashokan major rock edicts which tell us about the Sangam kingdom include rock edicts. The answer would be 1 and the options are 1 and 10, 1 and 11, okay, 2 and 13, and 2 and 14. And the right answer to this question would be 2 and 13. Because in 2 and 13 number major rock edict, Ashoka talks about the or the Sangam kingdoms. Okay, on that note, I'm ending my today's class. Thank you so much. See you in my next class.